Hi fifth graders, it's Heron from the Westport River Watershed Alliance, and I'm here today with our two Commonwealth Corps service members.
I'm Scallop. And I'm Plover.
And we're going to be teaching you about the dunes this year, so we'll be taking some videos, sending you some lessons so you can learn all about the science of the dunes. Today we're going to be learning about the water cycle by using the dunes behind us as a model of how the water flows through the cycle. The water cycle is the continuous movement of water on Earth. First, we're going to start off this cycle by adding some water through rain. Rain is also called precipitation, and precipitation comes down from the clouds and onto the ground. Over here in the hills, it is either absorbed into the ground through a process called absorption, that way that the plants can use it by taking it in through their roots, or it's running off the land, running down the land, which is another process called runoff. So it's easy to see here in the dunes that when water is running down after a rainstorm, it heads down the hill and actually goes into the bog, which is the lowest part of the dunes. The bog is also the wettest part because every time there's rain or precipitation, most of that is draining down to the bog. There is water in the bog. The sun comes out and warms the water up, and it starts to go into the air by evaporation. So it's a process of evaporation, which is when a liquid water turns into a water vapor. So that water vapor goes up into the sky, and as it gets higher and higher, it's colder. So when it reaches to a point where it's cold enough to turn the water from a vapor back into a liquid, it's a process called condensation, and that's actually when they make the clouds. So as the water vapor travels up, gets cold enough, goes through condensation, and it forms clouds. Once those clouds get really heavy with water, it starts the cycle all over again, and we have precipitation. So it starts to rain back down onto the earth. So a cool trick to try to make condensation happen where you are at home or at school is to take something cold and bring it into the outside air, and that water vapor that's all around us in the air hits the cold can and actually makes that condensation on the outside of the can.
Okay, so we're going to just review the water cycle using the following picture as an example. So we said that the water cycle starts with the precipitation, which could be rain or snow. When the rain or snow hits the earth, it runs off the land and travels downhill. And wherever it collects, it could be a river, ocean, or like our example, the bog. When the sun comes out and warms it up, it begins to change from a liquid form to a vapor. So that's evaporation. Once the water vapor heads up into the sky and cools off, it becomes the clouds through condensation, and the water vapor is going to be returned back to the water liquid. And then once the clouds get enough of that water vapor in them and they get heavy enough, then it causes precipitation to happen again, and the rain or the snow falls down in the sky with the clouds and starts the cycle all over again.
Thanks for watching our lesson on the water cycle in the dunes. We'll be back to teach you some more science concepts using the dunes as our model.